call me up. The big Mickey Mouse. You posted your at 12 and 8 that night. She had my all over the mess. Can't sit on my house. I got that check and took off. A lot of these look lost. They broke. They think it's my fault. No court. I want that court.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Coming up, it's Divisional Round Saturday, and we've got an AFC battle on tap between the Portland River Hogs and the Houston Texans. The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend in the NFL is underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And they'll go ground game here to the tailback. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback. And no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
And they'll run it here. Oh, and now he bowls him over. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
On 1st and 10, English. That is incomplete. Mike Williams, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to the air on 2nd down. English. Open man is Cantrell. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route, it's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney. Back down to that Philly. Here we go. Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Detroit! Detroit!
To throw on 2nd down. English. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. From the gun, English. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. Well, the crowd doesn't like that. Was going to bring up fourth. Now it's first.
They don't like it at all, do they? It brings them back into it, but really not in a positive way. Now they're angry. That can jangle a team a little bit as well. Pass interference ruined that series of downs for them.
Detroit! 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 Detroit!
They go play action here on first down. He'll rifle this one deep right, and this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. Watson hands this to Foreman. Space to maneuver at the 40. And a cutback left. And he's all the way up to the 39-yard line that time. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
And that's the big fella's M.O. right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
A carry for Foreman. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
They'll roll him out right. He's going to let this go deep, back over the middle. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down, couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3.
Richmond.
From the gun, here's Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down.
Now, Barney! Detroit! Detroit!
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
A run by Foreman to start the drive. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Richmond. Come back.
To throw on second is Watson. And Thomas has it. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stopped them for almost no gain.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Gone! All right, now, lucky 56.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still...
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56.
On 1st down, English. Flushed out right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this 1st half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. And Sturgis able to knock it through. And it's 3-0 here in the 2nd quarter. So still no touchdowns in the 1st half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game, because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. The drive starts with Foreman on the ground and able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the 2nd half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the 1st half, Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. And not a whole lot doing there, so he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Come back, come back. Hey. Come back.
Out of the gun, Watson. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 48, and his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. He was trying to hit Thomas that time.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. And a nice gain at 21 yards. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Gun!
Throwing on 1st down. English. He's going to fire one deep over the... And this is taken in at the 5. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A really good pickup of 28 yards. This will be their first trip to the red zone. They've got it 1st and goal to go. Operating from the gun. English. And it's caught. Touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Sturgis adds the PAT, and the lead grows to 10-0. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start the drive with a give to Foreman. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So this will be accepted as he moves the offense backwards. Watson now to throw. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10. Well, this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. A shotgun snap for Watson. He's going to air one out. They've got his man complete. The Clemson connection. Watson to Hopkins for a big one. 48 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. They go with a shuffle pass, and it's complete. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
To throw is Watson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, these are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. It's a gain of a yard, and it takes us to the 2-minute warning. Two minutes remain here in the first half. Back with more AFC playoff action after this timeout.
Now let's go.
Looking to throw on second down. English. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39. Hot.
From the gun, English. Flush to his right. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll finally be taken down, but he gets inside the Houston 20. That one goes for 36 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Back to throw. English. And it's caught. Touchdown. Dylan Cantrell from 19 yards away. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. A post to the tight end for 6. Gosh, those guys are so tough to cover, aren't they? Just in general, tight ends running those patterns near the goal line.
Because you have to decide how you want to treat them. Are they a wide receiver? Are they a big extra blocker on the field? Or are they a hybrid and caught in between? So are you going to use a linebacker? Are you going to use a safety? Are you going to even move a corner in if you're going to play nickel or dime defense? They usually win those matchups because they have an answer for all 3 of those positions.
Watson on first down. Eluding the pressure right. And that's going to be incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. He's going to let this one go deep. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Rayshawn Jenkins picks it off, and the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it was real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Throwing again. English. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a toss play. This is Foreman. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On first down, it's Watson. And that one falls incomplete. Try to dump it underneath. Now 2nd down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Throwing again is Watson. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half. And you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest. We're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
On 1st and 10, English. And this is complete. It's Allen. And he will take it in for the touchdown. Keenan Allen, 25 yards for the touchdown. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Had 3 touchdown passes. You're right, he looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials.
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Going to need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal?
Target.
Watson now operating from the gun. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. And he'll take it just outside the 40. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. And Sturgis able to knock it through. You want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. So it's on to halftime in this AFC divisional round matchup. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Oh, a heck of a move. Man. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And here comes the Texans now. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Faking the give. Now Watson. Going up top. He's got it at the 15. And he's able to get this way down deep into enemy territory. Watson to Hopkins for a huge hookup. 56 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now Foreman. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Tackle made by K'Wan Short.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down. They'll run with Foreman. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great effort there. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Texans cut into that lead.
Apparently the week off hasn't hurt him one bit. 1,000-yard rush in the regular season. Get his first touchdown here in the playoffs. Perhaps the week off energized him.
A great article in the paper this morning basically saying that they would not have won the division without him. And he's not their only piece, but I think that's a fair statement.
It's easy to say it this way. He's their main cog.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got some space here. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Aaron Colvin there to make the tackle.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And this is caught inside the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
They get it to him running left. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Well, after their wild card round game last week, you and I said, wow, they played pretty well. Maybe they got a shot at keeping this one close. They've done more than keep this one close.
Yeah, they've made quite a statement, haven't they? And I don't know if it was the week off that hurt this defense, but they've been flat from the get-go. And that's always a coach's fear. Okay, you earn the open week, but you wonder how they'll respond with that extra time off.
Yeah, it seems like they've been running uphill all game. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
He's letting this one go for and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Derwin James with a pick. And he will take this all the way down to the 38-yard line.
I know some teams are leery about playing cover 2 because the strong safety's not usually a terrific cover guy. But in this case, he played it perfectly. Read the football and went and made the interception.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Watch it now, Barney!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And that interception key as it leads to the touchdown. Sturgis for the extra point, and the lead will swell by one more. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team together.
Going to your playmakers, they probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
They run again with Foreman. He finds an opening past the 40. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. A big hitter there, a first down gain of 26 yards.
Dance class, anyone? Did you see the steps between the quarterback and the running back?
That's what you need for a good counter.
You have to have it because you're setting up your blocking. There's a timing element as well, but they have to marry up their steps. Otherwise, that timing gets thrown out the window.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Casey Hayward. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And Owen caught it up. But thankfully, this is corralled by the offense, so they will, in fact, hold on to the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that play, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum. Yeah, every now and then you can actually tackle that guy.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
When a coaching staff sees their team run the ball, this is...
Back now in Houston, and this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And on the ground they go with a running back. And another mistake here defensively as a flag is down on the tackle, and that's going to tack on 15 more. They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
Now let's go. Blue Lightning.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to take it down to about the 35 here. And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green, 39. Leopard, Leopard. Detroit, Detroit. Detroit, Detroit.
Looking to throw. English. Got a man. It's complete. Williams. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. The 3 red zone trips, 3 touchdowns so far. They'll look for a 4th on 2nd and goal. And they'll run it here. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And Sturgis able to knock it through. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or a man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
Watson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
That's a whole lot of points still to be down. But congratulations, they're still fighting, and they scored another touchdown.
My old high school coach used to say, Charles, he said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you wish you never had showed up.
Could have saved the gas money, the hotel, what have you, huh?
And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? and they all looked at me and said,
Watch it now,
just don't
Barney,
really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. On the tackle, Tyrann Mathieu.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Lucky 56.
To throw on 3rd down, English. 20. He's got a man. It's Williams. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A gain of 32 that time. They said at the beginning of the year, hey, our goal is to play in the conference title game. They just achieved that.
How about that? So that gives you not just determination, right? Not just a standard to go up against. They go to the Super Bowl.